William. How's it going, man? Yo, I haven't seen you in a minute. How you been? Dude, you're looking shredded, dude. Oh yeah? Which one you watch?
There's like 2 or 3 that I watched.
Oh shit.
About Dominic.
Yeah. Dude, you're looking shredded, man. What you been doing, dude?
Just eating, the low calorie foods.
Yeah.
I saw the one where you season how you season your meat. That one was pretty cool.
Dude.
So I also saw the one that you were just flexing. Your physique's pretty good as
Oh,
well.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, well, remember our last conversation we had? It's like, everyone's low-key racist to Asian guys. Because, okay, so we think about Bruce Lee, right? As an Asian guy, you get cut like Bruce Lee, but you can't look like The Rock.
Sure.
So that's where I'm trying to think is like, yo, like, that's where it's like, it's kind of a low-key racism because it's not like in your face is like, whatever, right? But I'm like, how come there's no like Asian role models of dudes who just look more like the Hulk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? Like
Exactly.
Asian guys get shredded, right?
Like The Rock or
But can't get like fucking like Rock, right? And obviously all of them taking juice or whatever. But I'm like, but still, like I'm gonna see how far I can take it naturally. Yeah, how you been, man? What's new with
good,
you?
Man.
Yeah,
Good.
you
I
look
was
good.
Coming from Petco,
Yeah.
thinking about buying a leopard, reptiles. A
Oh,
leopard
which one?
gecko. It's like a spotted leopard gecko.
Oh shit, yeah.
So that's where I was coming from. But,
Oh,
yeah.
what do you feed it?
these type of little bugs.
Yeah.
Like little type of insects.
Okay.
They're
Oh,
pretty
so
cool.
have you enjoyed watching the videos?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Lots of content.
what's fun about it?
I think just your idea to explain things, and a lot of people don't expand the way you do in like the videos that I watch. Like I watched our video just to get an outside look at how, and that video was. I shared that video to a lot of my friends.
Oh, dope! Yeah.
They was like,
Oh, dude,
that's
I'm so
what's up,
happy to
man."
hear that.
Because,
Yeah.
we went on some good topics, of
Yeah.
racism
Well,
and-
I mean, cause like, well, this is one thing I appreciate. Okay, so like, it's one thing to talk abstractly about race and whatever, but then like, until you talk to like a real life human, like in the flesh, all of that stuff it's not really real.
True.
Cause like everyone's like talking about like this and that. And I'm like, okay, like these exist, right? But when's the last time you talked to somebody in the flesh? Like not on the internet, not on YouTube, but the flesh. And that's the thing is like everyone's all like
We're all talking through social
yo,
media.
everyone's talking through social or they put on masks. I'm like, yo, when's the last time somebody like
The socialism.
like yo, cause like like so, and it's cool too, cause like even us having this dialogue is very, and I'm sure people watching the video too, cause there's like things are so much more complex and more
People can't
complicated.
even sit down and have a conversation. It's just emojis and it's just like we
What?
need to in the flesh.
Yo,
we just need to-
have you noticed, William? People don't know how to make eye contact no more. Have you noticed that?
I do notice that.
Like how do you notice that?
Well, I'm walking.
Yo,
down
watch me lift this. All right, wait, you talk.
If I'm walking down the street
Yeah.
past somebody and I try and acknowledge them to hey.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, how's it going?
They don't even. It's like they shy away from it. A
For
little.
real? Do you think they're just scared or what?
Maybe it's a thing where
Yep.
they expect you to say something first.
Yep.
Wow, incredible.
Ah, motherfucker. Oops.
That's alright. But yeah, maybe it's like a thing where they're expecting you to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Or
Yeah.
usually if I'm walking past them, I kind of expect to.
Yeah. So what's up? Yeah. So what's up?
walk
You do the
past
head nod, right?
Yep, or like that. Usually I get that, but then sometimes if I'm walking past somebody, I'm looking at them, making eye contact, and they're just like, I don't know, like, hey,
Yo,
did
do you
I
know what you gotta
something
do?
wrong?
Do you know what you gotta do? Peace sign.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, remember we talked about last time? Use Asian.
Oh yeah, yeah. I started telling a few people that.
Oh, sick! How's that been going?
One person kind of believed it, but the other person was just like, prove it. I was like, prove it.
Yo, okay. Do you know how to troll people? Do you know? Have you heard something called 21andMe?
I've heard of that before.
It's like one of those genetics testing, whatever, right? I mean, it is the thing too. I think it's good to lie, like in good spirit. Like you'd be like, oh, just like you prove yourself. Yeah, just I always thought I was black or African American, whatever. And then one day, like someone for my birthday gave me a 21andMe test, and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. And I took it to the swab, sent it to the mail, and a month later, I actually found out that I'm 30% Korean, 40% Egyptian, and 60% like Laotian. And then the funny thing is, you make up these small details, right? But you make up small details, people believe you more.
Sure.
It's like, for example, if I was talking to you, Williams, like, William, yesterday I was reading the New Yorker, and I read this article by Benjamin Grosser, and he said that in America, historically, since the 1980s, 33% of African American male have experienced 90% of the racism in America's history over the last 300 years. Sounds real, right?
Sure.
I just made that all up.
Wow.
But so like,
I would have ran with that,
yeah, exactly. That's why you just kind of fuck with people, right? Because like, or you're like, yo, Eric, what do you do? I'll be like, oh, sometimes I'm a little ashamed to say this, but yo, low key, I dance on the weekends. I know it's not acceptable in society, but I do some stuff at the Spearmint Rhino. And he's like, Asian guys are hot right now. And then you'd be like, oh yeah, that's good. So like, you just kind of fuck with people a little bit, right? And then I'm like, nah, just kidding. Like I usually lie to people or joke with them, but I'll tell them the truth. I'm like, nah, just kidding. I just do whatever.
Like the first one you said about the African Americans, I would have ran with that. Like, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as you were saying it, I believed it, but I was like, see, I just
no,
made that
because
up.
that's the reason. Okay, so I study statistics in school, right? So the problem is, you can game statistics any way you want. I'll give you an example. This is actually facts, okay? So the talk is like systemic racism, blah blah, right? So actually, I googled it, and I was like, actually, what is the facts? How's the veggies looking?
Looking good.
Looking good. We're so what I did some research on, right?
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, dude! Yo, it's a fucking yo. What's up, Tom Cruise?
Where do you get that working?
Yo, when you gonna grow out your hair, man?
Not for a while.
Yo, I was thinking about shaving my head, but I was like,
You should.
how
low?
I can't look like Henry. I can't look like a Delta Forcer. I
I-
googled Delta Force.
Did you?
Yeah, and actually,
Couldn't find much
people
about it.
pussyfooted. They're like, Delta Force and Navy SEALs, they're both legit. I'm like, dude, my buddy Henry said the Delta Force is better.
Bro, I bought my domain name too.
Oh,
This is the last
dude!
time we talked.
Congrats. Wait, what was it?
Just Henry J. Smithers.
Yo, you have a website?
I do not have.
Make a website, man.
You
What's
have a website, bro?
After I talked to him, I was like, bro, I got to
Yeah.
invest in this.
Yo,
you
think
know?
about it this way. It costs you $5 a month, and it's like, this is my thought. It's almost like equivalent to buying a house on the internet that has like infinite. So we're talking about statistics, how you game the system, right? So, so I was studying like police brutality against African Americans, right? So this is actually the statistic. African Americans in America are about 15%. White, Caucasian, whatever. It's about 60% in America. If you look at the raw numbers, more Caucasian men are killed by cops than African Americans in terms of raw numbers. But statistically, per capita, more African Americans are getting killed. If you do the math, right? But whenever you watch the media, it's always like, cops kill more black people.